Hello everyone, this is Rifa and welcome to my new video. So in this video I'm going to show you how I added a beach themed spread in my new art journal. So this is a journal that I've bought from Amazon very long back. So I've ordered this one for storing my memories as photographs and journaling, but I didn't use it for a very long time, so I just thought of doing art journals in this. And I'm using my Himi gouache set this time. So I went to beach few days back and I just shot some of the beach elements. So I thought of adding those elements in my journal so I can keep a memory of that particular day at beach. So first I'm going to add those two houses in a coconut field. I love this decal edge of this particular journal. It has a very vintage touch. It is a bit pale color and it has a leather cover. So I'll link all the materials in the description. So I just did some sky in sky blue and then added few bushes in the background. Some bushes and trees in the background. So the pages are very textured and they have a lot of tooths in it. So it is very difficult to fill in the pages. So I'm using a very loose consistency of my paint so that I can fill all the gaps. So I think since it is very textured, it will be very suitable for semi-abstract paintings. So this is my first page on this particular sketchbook or journal. So I'm finding it a bit difficult to do the painting and the details, but I will get used to it once I complete one or two spreads. I think so. So I've added a dark green color or base for the bushes and trees and then added some light green details. So I won't be adding very much details because this is a journal, so I want it to be simple and it shouldn't be very much tiring for me because journaling is something we do to relax. So the entire process should be very relaxing and satisfying. So then I added some coconut trees. So for the trunk, I just used a dark brown and then I added some green leaves. So I just filled the spaces for the leaves using the same dark green color. So you can see it is being very difficult for me to add details. So I'm just learning the consistency of paint that should be applied for this particular paper. So I'm just adding lots of water to my gouache paint. But another problem is that if I add lots of water, which will eventually lose the creamy consistency of gouache, so I won't get that desired effect. Once it's dried, it becomes pale or lighter. So I should maintain a bit thick consistent paint. And then I added some black shadows for the trees and the leaves of my coconut trees because once these greens are dried they becomes a bit lighter, so which will eventually make my painting look lack a bit of contrast. And then I added little green highlights. So I've used that same light green shade and added little highlights here and there. So I'm just making some random strokes. I'm not worried about the details that much. I also added some highlights for the trunk using yellow ochre and then added a few part of ground in green, and then I moved for the houses. So for the roof of houses I used a brown shade, a warm brown shade, and I'm not doing the exact same houses, so I'm just using a simple version of those houses. And for the base of the walls of the houses I used yellow ochre, and once I completed that I did a black details for the roof part. So I just love adding such details for the roof part of houses because it gave a more detailed look or finish to my paintings. So this is my first time doing art journal. I hope it will end well. I hope I will be consistent with this one. But the texture of the paper is making me a bit lazy, but I'll do it. I'll do more spreads in this particular journal, of course, because this is very therapeutic and it gives back a lot of memories, even when you paint and even after we flip those pages after a very long time. So I've added some yellow ochre details on the roof part and added some white highlights and some black details for the house, and did some highlighting details for the grass and added a few grass strands here and there. And this is the first painting of this particular spread. And then there are few of these plants that we usually see in the beaches here, so I thought of adding them also in the spread. So I just added dark green leaves first and did the filling process. So I just love how the texture shows through these strokes. So I'm just learning to maintain that texture of the paper. So I just added some strands and then added the highlighting details using a light green shade. So for this I'm using a pointed round brush from Himi, and I'll drop that in the description. Again added few more highlighting details using adding a bit more white to that particular green, and using yellow ochre I added that flowers. So these look like lavender because they have shape similar to lavender flowers. So throughout this particular illustration I'm using the same brush. Since it is pointed, it is very helpful to paint such details. And then of course I'm going to paint the beach. So we have this beautiful sunset view on beach that day, so I thought of capturing that in my journal, and I started with a light blue sky, and we have a yellow spread in the middle part of the sky and a little sun. And for the ocean I did a different blue color and filled in it, and I also did the filling process of the ground part with a brown shade. And then I did that orange strands on the sky, so it will give that sunset effect on my painting. And also added that reflection in the ocean part and did some shadow details using dark blue color and added some highlights using a light blue version, and did some lightning in the sky and added few highlights in the reflection area by mixing lemon yellow and white. And in the center part I added this little sun and again did some details. So I'm not satisfied with this particular painting in this spread because it lacked a lot of contrast, a lot of vibrancy, I guess. But that's how journaling works. We do a lot of random things in journaling, a lot of scribblings. It's not about the details, it's about the memories, and it's all about the process. So in the ground part I have added some green patches as I have seen there, and did some more glowing effect on the sun. And there was this little bird, so I thought of capturing that too, so it will give a nice look to my spread, I guess. So I did some background using a very brown shade and did a green ground for that particular bird, and then I added some highlighting details again for the grass and then did the bird. So for the bird I did it in a light blue color first, and so it will give a shadow effect to my bird, and then added the white details. And this bird have beautiful yellow beaks and legs, so I just love that part. So that was the painting part of this particular journal. I just added few random colors here and there, and to mark the date of this particular day I just added circular piece of a brown paper, and I had this journaling supplies, very few journaling supplies. So I just added those stickers, some stamp stickers and some Polaroid stickers. Also added a washi tape cutting of a feather. So you can just use whatever you have and make your theme look more elegant and aesthetic. And now is the writing part. So I just added the date in that circular area. So I believe journaling is incomplete without writings in it, because these aesthetic writings give a very nice filled look to our journal, and journal is always supposed to be look filled. I believe so. I like those filled journals. So I'm adding few quotes and poems related to ocean and beach. At first, I thought of adding my own words and writings, but at that time I was out of words and I didn't know what to write. So I just referred to some of poems related to ocean and added that. And I also added some large text like waves, beach in between so that it would fill the entire space. So, yeah, I believe journaling is all about filling the spaces with whatever comes to your mind at that particular time. So, it should not be very planned, it should be like according to your instinct at that particular moment. I also added a little doodle of waves and again added few scribblings, and then I added those little flower bushes again. So I did a sketch of that particular leaves and flowers again, so it would fill this particular area and I believe it will give a very nice look to it. So that's how my beach journaling went. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you are new to my channel, please do subscribe and click the bell icon. And I hope this video was very much satisfying. If yes, please do like the video and drop your suggestions in the comments. So please drop what you would like to see next on my channel, and thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.